A civilization that refused to disappear opening, not a nation. A civilization. India is not just a country. It is one of the oldest continuous civilizations on Earth. Empires rose here. Empires collapsed here. Invaders came and left. Yet India remained. This is a story of how a civilization survived everything without ruling the world by force. The foundation of India long before modern borders existed. The Indus Valley civilization flourished along rivers. Cities like Harappa and Mohenjo-daro had drainage systems, urban planning, and trade networks when much of the world lived in tribes. India's strength was never expansion. It was organization, continuity, and knowledge. Knowledge is power. India shaped the world through ideas. 0. Advanced mathematics, surgery, astronomy, philosophy. Universities like Nalanda attracted students from China, Persia, and Southeast Asia. India didn't export armies. It exported thinking. India was rich and targeted for centuries. India controlled global trade. Its textiles clothed empires. Its spices fueled economies. Its craftsmanship was unmatched. Wealth does not invite friendship. It invites attention. And attention invites ambition. Invasions without erasure. India was invaded many times. Greeks, Central Asian empires, Islamic dynasties. But something unusual happened. The land absorbed rulers without losing its civilizational core. Languages blended. Cultures merged. Traditions adapted. India didn't resist change. It integrated it. The colonial turning point. Colonialism changed everything. This time, India wasn't ruled by conquerors or sultans. It was managed by a corporation. The East India Company didn't conquer first. It controlled trade, redirected wealth, and reshaped education. Power shifted quietly from civilization to administration. India didn't disappear. Many ancient civilizations vanished. India didn't, because India was never dependent on one empire. Its identity lived in language, ritual, philosophy, and daily life. Empires ruled India, but they never owned it. Modern India, continuity, not replacement. Modern India is not a break from the past. It is a continuation. Old traditions coexist with new technology. The civilization adapts, again, because survival was never about dominance. It was about endurance. India didn't rule the world. It outlived those who tried to, and that is a different kind of power. The cost of endurance, however, comes with a price. India survived, but survival often meant absorbing pain instead of resisting it. The civilization chose continuity over confrontation. While other empires answered threat with conquest, India answered it with accommodation. This preserved culture, but it also delayed unity. And in a world growing more aggressive, gentle civilizations pay a heavy cost. When unity failed, India's greatest strength was also its greatest vulnerability: diversity. Languages multiplied, beliefs diverged, power fragmented, local rulers protected regions, but no single vision protected the whole. Invaders did not defeat India by force. They moved through the cracks left by division. History doesn't punish weakness alone. It punishes disunity. The psychological conquest, the deepest conquest, was not territorial. It was psychological. Education systems were replaced. Native knowledge was dismissed. Confidence slowly eroded. A civilization that once taught the world was taught to doubt itself. When people forget their intellectual inheritance, they begin borrowing identity from others. And borrowed identity is never permanent. Independence was not the E&D. Independence restored governance. But civilizational recovery takes longer than political freedom. Rebuilding confidence takes generations. Reviving long-term thinking takes patience. India did not need to reinvent itself. It needed to remember itself. India's real power today, India rises again, quietly, not through conquest, not through domination, but through scale, adaptability, and resilience. A civilization that has already survived collapse does not fear change. It learned from it. The danger of forgetting, but survival alone is not victory. A civilization can endure physically and still weaken internally. When memory fades, when history becomes decoration instead of guidance, when tradition is treated as a burden instead of a foundation, endurance turns into stagnation. The danger is not invasion. The danger is amnesia. Modern pressures, ancient tests today's threats look different. They don't arrive on ships. They don't march with banners. They arrive through distraction, short-term thinking, fragmented identity, and imported narratives. The question is no longer whether India can survive conquest. The question is whether it can survive forgetting itself. What endurance really means. Endurance is not passive. It is not silence. It is not submission. True endurance is the ability to adapt without dissolving, to modernize without erasing memory, to change without losing direction. India has done this before, again and again. A civilization, not a moment nations rise and fall in centuries. Civilizations think in millennia. India was never built around one ruler, one empire, or one ideology. It was built around ideas, practices, and ways of seeing the world. That is why it could be ruled without being erased. The quiet strength India's strength was never spectacle. It was patience. While others burned bright and collapsed, India endured slow, painful centuries and remained. This kind of power doesn't dominate headlines. It outlasts them. The warning hidden in the story. History offers a warning. Civilizations don't collapse when enemies are strong. They collapse when people stop believing their inheritance matters, when knowledge is neglected, when unity is treated as optional, when memory is replaced with convenience. Endurance requires effort. Every generation must choose it again.